History is like a giant puzzle with missing pieces. While we learn about big events like wars and revolutions, there are smaller, lesser-known stories that are just as fascinating. These tales, tucked away in the corners of history, reveal the courage, mystery, and strangeness of the past. Here are 10 untold stories that will grab your attention and show you a side of history you've never seen before. 1. The Vanishing Colony of Roanoke. In 1587, over 100 English settlers landed on Roanoke Island, off what is now North Carolina, to start a new life. They built homes and dreamed of a thriving colony. But 3 years later, when a supply ship arrived, the entire colony had disappeared. Houses were empty, and the only clue was the word Croatoan carved into a tree. Were they attacked? Did they join a nearby Native American tribe? Or did something else happen? To this day, no one knows for sure. The mystery of Roanoke remains one of America's oldest unsolved puzzles. 2. Virginia Hall. During World War II, Virginia Hall, an American woman from Baltimore, became one of the most dangerous spies for the Allies. Despite losing part of her leg in an accident, she joined Britain's spy agency and worked undercover in Nazi-occupied France. She organized resistance groups, passed secret messages, and helped sabotage German plans. The Nazis called her the Limping Lady and hunted her relentlessly. But she escaped over snowy mountains to safety. Her daring missions helped change the war's outcome, yet her story is rarely told. 3. The bizarre dancing plague of 1518. It sounds like a joke, but the dancing plague of 1518 was a real event. In July of that year, a woman named Frau Troffea began dancing wildly in the streets of Strasbourg, then part of the Holy Roman Empire, now in France. She didn't stop for hours, then days, and soon others joined her. Within a week, dozens of people were dancing non-stop. Some collapsed from exhaustion. A few even died from heart attacks or strokes. Doctors were baffled. They blamed it on hot blood, while others said it was a curse or even a punishment from God. Modern experts suggest the cause might have been stress, mass hysteria, or possibly a toxic mold on grain called ergot, which can cause hallucinations. 4. Thomas Smallwood. When we hear about the Underground Railroad, the secret network that helped enslaved African Americans escape to freedom, we think of heroes like Harriet Tubman. But few know about Thomas Smallwood, a key figure who gave the network its famous name. Born into slavery in Maryland, Smallwood bought his freedom and became an outspoken abolitionist. In the 1840s, he partnered with a white activist, Charles Torrey, and helped hundreds of enslaved people escape. Smallwood wrote bold newspaper columns mocking slave hunters, calling their pursuit a railroad because escapees seemed to vanish like fast-moving trains. His clever term caught on and became the name of the entire movement. 5. The Great Onion Crash of 1956. In the world of strange economic disasters, nothing beats the Great Onion Crash. In the mid-1950s, two businessmen from Chicago, Vincent Kosuga and Sam Siegel, hatched a sneaky plan. They decided to control the entire U.S. onion market. They bought up nearly all the onions in America and stored them in warehouses. Then they sold massive amounts of onion futures, contracts for future delivery, betting the price would crash. To make it happen, they dumped millions of onions back into the market, causing prices to plummet. At one point, onions were worth just a few cents per bag. Farmers went bankrupt. The public was outraged. Congress acted fast, and in 1958, onion futures trading was banned. 6. The Forgotten Chinese Builders of the Transcontinental Railroad. The completion of the Transcontinental Railroad in 1869 was a turning point in American history. It connected the East and West Coast, boosted the economy, and united the country. But the story often leaves out the Chinese workers who made it possible. Around 15,000 Chinese immigrants worked on the western portion of the railroad, doing some of the most dangerous tasks: blasting through mountains, laying tracks in freezing weather, and surviving landslides and explosions. They were paid less than white workers and faced constant racism and abuse. Despite their sacrifices and contributions, Chinese workers were pushed aside in history for decades. Only recently have their stories begun to receive the recognition they deserve. 7. The Lost City of Zig. British explorer Percy Fawcett believed that there was a lost city deep in the Amazon rainforest. He called it Zay and thought it held the secrets of an ancient, advanced civilization. In 1925, he set out with his son and a friend to find it. They were never seen again. Search parties were sent, but no clear trace of them was found. Some think they were killed by local tribes. Others believe they died from starvation or disease. A few believe Fawcett may have found the city and decided to stay hidden. The legend of the lost city of Z continues to inspire explorers and researchers today, with new discoveries in the Amazon suggesting ancient cities did once exist in the jungle. 8. The dark side of Prohibition. During Prohibition, 1920 or 1933, the U.S. banned the sale of alcohol, but people still found ways to drink through bootlegging and homemade brews. To stop this, the government took a drastic step. It ordered industrial alcohol to be poisoned. Factories used alcohol for products like fuel and cleaning supplies. Bootleggers stole this alcohol and turned it into drinks. So officials added toxic chemicals to make it undrinkable. The problem? People drank it anyway. As a result, an estimated 10,000 people died. Thousands more were left paralyzed or blind. The government knew about the deaths but kept poisoning the supply, hoping to scare people into stopping. 9. NASA's overlooked black mathematicians. In the 1950s and 60s, while the U.S. raced to put a man on the moon, a group of brilliant black women worked behind the scenes at NASA. They included Dorothy Vaughan, Mary Jackson, Katherine Johnson, and Christine Darden, mathematicians who did crucial calculations by hand. These women worked in a segregated section and faced racism and discriminations daily. Yet their work helped launch satellites, guide astronauts, and ensure the success of missions like Apollo 11. Katherine Johnson's math helped calculate John Glenn's orbital flight. Their achievements were ignored for decades until the 2016 book and movie Hidden Figures brought their story into the spotlight. Today, they are celebrated as national heroes. 10. The Battle of Blair Mountain. In 1921, over 10,000 coal miners in West Virginia decided they'd had enough. They were tired of poor pay, dangerous conditions, and being controlled by powerful coal companies. Armed with rifles, they marched to Blair Mountain to demand better treatment. Waiting for them were around 3,000 armed guards, police, and strikebreakers. A full-blown battle erupted. Gunfire echoed through the mountains for several days, and even planes dropped bombs on the miners. Eventually, federal troops were sent in to stop the fighting. Although the miners lost the battle, their bravery brought national attention to workers' rights and helped fuel the labor movement. It remains the largest armed labor uprising in U.S. history, yet is rarely mentioned in textbooks. In conclusion, these 10 stories remind us that history is much more than just kings, wars, and presidents. It's about everyday people, workers, women, immigrants, and brave souls who dared to challenge the odds or left behind mysterious tales. Their stories may be hidden, but they're just as important. History is not just what's written in school books. Sometimes the most powerful lessons come from its quiet corners, if we're willing to look. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you.